Today's been fantastic. I met such inspiring people.
I found this one really kind of very interesting for me as well as for my organisation, PINHA.
It was fantastic today, really good.
People are very willing to share all their experiences, knowledge, and to point us in the direction so that we don't make mistakes that they've made in the past. So it's incredibly useful for people like ourselves.
The lack of resources that you have, you're small organisations, you've got full-time jobs and sort of working to really tight deadlines and resources. So the organisational development grant really is meant to, for the first time in an official and sort of standalone way, is meant to give support to UK-based organisations.
We've got three main themes which we're going to pursue this afternoon. One is about finding funding in unlikely places. Another one is about managing cultural differences, and another one working towards redundancy. And for each of those themes we have some stories. You don't have to go onto a social network to tell a story. You can do it face to face. And that's what we're going to do this afternoon.
It's a fuel efficient kitchen. All the heat is contained within. Those rods that are going through the middle feed out into a water butt at the end, and the heat is then transferred into the water to take the edge off the water so we can then boil it quicker.
It really matters to me, and that's, I think, just a tiny difference that you can get across with a small charity that's much harder for a big charity to do.
We can learn from each other, also from the success as well as from the failure stories.
And we've been very successful mobilising the ladies groups in the village through a microfinance project to set up small businesses, and there's nearly 30 businesses running by this time. And so we initiated a discussion with some of the menfolk, and you can see the body language there.
Everything looked rosy. January, and the kitchen still has not been used. And what we didn't do was liaise with the community when we came back to say, do you still want this project? Because something had happened in the meantime.
So we can now, with 20, 30, 40 charities, or how many we grow to, we can go and talk to people higher up and they will listen, whereas at the moment, small charities, they're not interested in.
I think collectively being a voice for towards funders and donors.
So we're really looking at supporting the smaller charities, and we've already started giving grants to the smaller ones, newer ones.
Our aim is to bridge a gap. You know, we've had representatives from DFID and from Comic Relief today to bridge the gap between those big donor organisations and little us, doing what we can.
And I think it's important that we are spoken to and consulted in terms of policy making in the future. Do a face-to-face with the funders because I've had many years of experience of trying to apply for funding as a smaller charity and been extremely frustrated. So it was an interesting session in terms of meeting the funders.
And then to create a kind of synergy among them to bring greater impact to the local communities.
There is a big advantage to giving money to small charities where all the money goes onto the projects, and we don't charge mega bucks for admin and travel and all these other things. So yeah, we are the future. It's Mr. Cameron's, what does he call it? The big society, but we've taken it to a warmer climate.
Training. Wow, what an opportunity we've had today to get some insight into stuff we knew nothing about already. And also to train each other. I'd certainly love to hear from some of you guys and maybe, I don't know, get some training for our team in Zambia from some of your teams in Tanzania or something. Just a great opportunity.
Oh gosh, I think there's huge amounts of benefits, absolutely huge amounts. I think in terms of sharing of experiences, sharing ideas, sharing resources. I think collectively being a voice for towards funders and donors. I think being a voice to definitely on a government level to make them sit up and listen to us collectively, as opposed to the larger charities that have got the presence and the brand already.
One of the reasons for having T4A is to share, as we've seen today, knowledge, resources. We've all got things that we could help each other with.
I think most people here have tended to focus their resources and their time on the projects on the ground, you know, to make a difference there, as opposed to wanting to be like everybody else and to, you know, to raise awareness of who you are. So it's a catch-22 situation, but one which I believe if we had more people together and like-minded, like Together for Africa, you know, we can do that more collectively and you know, make people sit up and listen.
From its creating network among the NGOs.
Together for Africa has got a great future.
I think everyone's got a story, a good story to tell, so it's time that we spoke up and made them hear. So yeah, bring it on.
So in time, I hope that Together for Africa becomes the first port of call for small charities in need of reassurance, help, collaboration, that it becomes the Samaritans of small charities, but also its treasure trove and the yardstick to measure against.